Greed doesn't always look like a hunger for money. Sometimes it's that quiet, nagging urge to have just a little bit more. For a man named Arjun, that hunger started with ambition and ended with a devastating loss. This is the story of how wanting everything made him lose the one thing that truly mattered most. Arjun grew up with a deep-seated belief that success was the only real proof of a person's worth. He poured his life into his work, burning the midnight oil to build a startup from the ground up. Before long, the hard work paid off, and the money started flowing in. He celebrated with a new car, a bigger apartment, and a promise to his wife, Mira. Just one more year, he'd say, then we'll finally take a break and rest. But 1 year slowly stretched into 3, and then 5. Family dinners became quick phone calls. Those phone calls eventually turned into flimsy excuses. Mira, with her gentle smile, would tell him, "I miss you more than the money." But Arjun was too caught up in chasing numbers, too focused on the next big win, to hear the growing silence behind her words. He was building an empire, but his home was becoming empty. Then, a massive opportunity appeared. A major investor offered a deal that promised to double their profits and accelerate growth beyond his wildest dreams. Arjun didn't hesitate for a second. Mira, however, felt a sense of unease. "It feels risky, Arjun," she said, her voice laced with concern. He brushed her off. "You just don't understand business," he replied, a hint of impatience in his tone. But that deal was the beginning of the end. Greed began to gnaw away at everything he held dear: his ethics, his sleep, his peace of mind. He started cutting corners and ignoring the warnings from his own team, kept telling himself, "I'm doing all of this for us." But deep down, he knew it was never really for us. It was for his ego. Then came the audit, but it all unraveled so quickly. One missing document, one exposed shortcut, and the entire empire he had built came crashing down overnight. The investors fled, the clients vanished. His reputation, once his most prized possession, was gone. That night, Mira didn't say a word. She didn't yell or cry, she just packed a bag quietly. As she stood by the door, she whispered, "You had everything, Arjun, except contentment." And as the door closed behind her, the silence in the apartment was more deafening than any of the screaming headlines. Months went by. Arjun sold his car, his apartment, every symbol of the success he once craved. He took a humble job at a small local firm, working quietly, trying to piece his life back together. One evening, as he was leaving the office, he saw a street vendor pouring a cup of hot tea and handing it to a shivering old man on the corner. There were no cameras, no expectation of payment, no profit to be made. It was just a simple, unadorned act of kindness. That small gesture hit Arjun with the force of a tidal wave. For the first time, he truly understood. Greed steals your joy, but giving brings you peace. Arjun had spent his life chasing more wealth, more praise, more control. But he learned the hard way that the price of greed isn't just the money you lose. It's the people and the peace you push away in the process. He finally found the courage to write to Myra. "You were right," his letter began. "I was so busy building a fortune, I forgot to build a life. Greed takes, but gratitude gives." In the end, real wealth isn't measured by what we earn, it's measured by what we appreciate. Thank you for watching. If this story resonated with you, please consider liking and subscribing for more content like this.